Today our lecture is about preserving wildlife in Egypt. A comprehensive survey of wildlife in Egypt was conducted to identify the various species and their distribution across the country. Egyptian vulture lives in desert and mountainous regions, and distributed in Nile Valley, Sinai Peninsula. Nile crocodile lives in freshwater habitats, and distributed in Nile River, Lake Nasser. Arabian oryx lives in desert and semi-desert regions, and distributed in eastern desert, Sinai Peninsula. Nubian ibex lives in mountainous regions, and distributed in Sinai Peninsula, Red Sea Mountains. Egyptian tortoise lives in desert and coastal regions, and distributed in northern coast, western desert. Dugong lives in coastal and marine habitats, and distributed in Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea. Sooty falcon lives in coastal and desert regions, and distributed in Red Sea coast, eastern desert. Egyptian mongoose lives in grasslands and agricultural areas, and distributed in Nile Delta, Fayoum Oasis. The fennec fox lives in desert environment with high temperatures, and distributed in Sinai Peninsula. Uromasticus ornata lives in rocky areas, and distributed dry rocky areas. Our natural studies focus on understanding the habitats of wildlife in Egypt. We explore various ecosystems such as forests, deserts, wetlands, and coastal areas to identify the specific environments that support different species. Through our natural studies, we observe and document the behaviors of wildlife in their natural habitats. This research helps us gain insights into their feeding patterns, mating rituals, migration routes, and social dynamics. By conducting natural studies, we can develop effective conservation strategies. Our research helps us understand the specific needs and vulnerabilities of different species, allowing us to implement targeted conservation efforts. Natural studies also play a crucial role in conducting environmental impact assessments. We assess the potential effects of human activities, such as infrastructure development, on wildlife habitats and propose mitigation measures. Egypt is home to a diverse range of wildlife species, both current and extinct. Preserving and increasing their populations is crucial for maintaining the country's biodiversity and ecosystem balance. In addition to conservation efforts in the wild, there are also initiatives to increase the production of certain species in farms. Barbary lion, extinction date, early 20th century, lived in grasslands. Arabian ostrich, extinction date, late 20th century, lived in desert regions. Scimitar oryx, extinction date, late 20th century, lived in desert regions. Northern bald ibis, extinction date, late 20th century, lived in coastal areas. To enhance the breeding and population of wildlife in farms, several methods and techniques can be implemented. These strategies aim to create a conducive environment for reproduction and growth, ensuring the sustainability of wildlife populations. Improving the habitat conditions in farms is crucial for wildlife breeding. This includes providing suitable vegetation, water sources, and shelter to mimic their natural environment. Implementing selective breeding programs can help enhance the genetic diversity and overall health of wildlife populations. By carefully selecting individuals with desirable traits, such as reproductive success and disease resistance, the quality of the population can be improved. Ensuring proper nutrition is essential for the growth and reproduction of wildlife in farms. Providing a balanced diet that meets their nutritional needs can enhance their overall health and reproductive capabilities. Regular veterinary care and health monitoring are essential to prevent and manage diseases in wildlife populations. This includes vaccinations, parasite control, and prompt treatment of any health issues. Regular monitoring of wildlife populations in farms is crucial to assess their growth and reproductive success. This data can help identify any challenges or issues and inform conservation efforts. Identifying challenges and solutions. Challenges: habitat loss, destruction of natural habitats due to urbanization, agriculture, and infrastructure development. Poaching and illegal wildlife trade, illegal hunting and trading of wildlife for their parts and products. Climate change, alteration of ecosystems and habitats, affecting the survival and reproductive patterns of wildlife. Lack of awareness and education, limited understanding of the importance of wildlife conservation and sustainable practices. Solutions: protected areas and wildlife reserves, establishing protected areas and reserves to safeguard habitats and wildlife. Strengthening law enforcement, implementing stricter measures to combat poaching and illegal wildlife trade. Conservation education and awareness programs, educating the public about the importance of wildlife conservation and promoting sustainable practices. International cooperation and partnerships, collaborating with other countries and organizations to share knowledge and resources for wildlife conservation efforts. Awareness for wildlife conservation. Conduct educational programs in schools and universities to teach students about the importance of wildlife conservation. Organize community events and workshops to engage the general public in conservation efforts. Collaborate with local media outlets to disseminate information and raise awareness through TV shows, documentaries, and articles. Utilize social media platforms to reach a wider audience and promote wildlife conservation initiatives. Endangered species and conservation efforts. Conducting natural studies to assess the population status and habitat requirements of endangered species. Implementing habitat restoration and protection measures to ensure the survival of endangered species. Establishing captive breeding programs to increase the population of endangered species. Collaborating with local communities and stakeholders to raise awareness about the importance of wildlife conservation. Enforcing laws and regulations to combat wildlife trafficking and illegal hunting. Promoting sustainable tourism practices that support wildlife conservation efforts. International agreements and treaties. Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES. Egypt is a signatory to CITES, which regulates the international trade of endangered species and their products. The agreement aims to ensure that international trade does not threaten the survival of wildlife species. Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD. Egypt is a party to the CBD, a global agreement that promotes the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. The treaty emphasizes the importance of protecting ecosystems and species, as well as the fair and equitable sharing of benefits derived from genetic resources. Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. Egypt is a contracting party to the Ramsar Convention, an intergovernmental treaty that promotes the conservation and wise use of wetlands. The agreement aims to protect wetland ecosystems and their biodiversity, as well as their important role in providing water resources and maintaining ecological balance. Convention on Migratory Species, CMS. Egypt is a signatory to CMS, a global treaty that aims to conserve migratory species in their habitats. The agreement focuses on the protection of migratory species, including birds, mammals, fish, and reptiles, through international cooperation and conservation measures. Partnerships with Arab and foreign countries. Partnering with Arab and foreign countries to enhance wildlife conservation in Egypt. Sharing best practices, knowledge, and resources to address common challenges. Joint research projects and studies to promote biodiversity and protect endangered species.
Thanks. You can find the link below in the description to download a free copy of the presentation. The link takes you directly to Google Drive. Please like, subscribe and write a comment. Please don't sell the presentation or upload the file to another websites because it's copyrighted. So what is the next video? Write down in the comments section the topic of the presentation and the number of slides. See you in the next video, presentations upon your request.